here we go. First up is lights. Lighting. Now, if you are on a beautiful day like today and you're shooting outdoors and that's your film, the great Roger Deakins said, you know, the sun is the biggest practical light you could ask for. You're probably set. But if you decided to give yourself a challenge, as I did, and shoot indoors at night, you're probably going to need some help. Coming from the theater, the lights I know, and again, I'm not a lighting designer, are the Lekos, also called Source 4s, and the Fresnels, and the Parkans, and Spotlights, and all these kind of great lights. And a lot of those, or similar versions of those, are used in film and television now. Everybody seems to be moving towards LEDs. I don't know anything about LEDs. If you have an LED strip or whatever and you want to use that, good, skip ahead. You're all set. But I don't. And I knew that even though I had some of these big, powerful lights, that I didn't have a dimmer, and they're heavy and they get hot, and I plug in like a Leko into my wall, and it's like, 750 watts of power. That's a bit much for my little movie inside my house. So what did I have in my house? I have overhead lights and overhead lights with dimmers, and outdoor door lights and fluorescent lights and candles and table lamps and things like this, but I needed something else. And what came to mind was a softbox. Softbox, probably you've seen anytime you've gone to like JCPenney's and gotten your family photos, they have them there. They're all over movie sets, and they're also, like, I see them in interviews, when they pull the camera back and you see what the interview set looks like, or documentary. And these things are great. Actors love them because they're flattering, and they also just give this nice even light. So I wanted to make one, and I ended up making one for free because I had all the stuff I needed. Here's the website right here for the guy that I followed. My kids helped me build this. I needed a couple of boxes. I needed a desk lamp or table lamp or something, an LED bulb, tinfoil and tape. Those two things are very important, I found, in independent filmmaking, do-it-yourself world. And then some kind of fabric to put over it. Fabric, I should say, like a plastic. It's recommended white trash bags are good. I used right here. This is mine. I ended up having some disposable or temporary tablecloth material for like an event that I think got canceled because of the pandemic. And I just put it over there and taped it. The light gets dispersed. There's tinfoil underneath here in a box that throws the light out. And this worked like gangbusters. And I know this looks a little sad, but man, I have had this thing for 3 or 4 months. My kids have beat it up, I beat it up, and it's doing pretty well. And it gives off a nice, even light. It also gives off a kind of almost like a bluish or silver tint. So I have used these a lot for lights that represent moonlight coming in through the window. That's been really effective. I sort of put them on top of like step ladders, and then on top of a table, and top of another table. It's very precarious outside my window, but it's worked, and it's really effective. And it cost me, I think, absolutely nothing. So I want to try that. Speaking of color, this movie I was making, I wanted to use some different colors. There's some surrealistic parts of it, so I wanted to use some deeper colors. In theater and film, and, well, especially theater, but film and television, we usually use things like this, like gels. These are some nice deep blues and reds, but there's all kinds of colors you can use. Most people don't have those, and you don't need those. I discovered 2 incredibly cheap, if not free, very child-friendly ways to make gels. The first one, all you need is wax paper and a Sharpie of whatever color you want the gel to be in. This is great, and what you do is you put your lamp, in this case I had a small, this is an LED, no real heat will come off of this. You take this, you put it down on your wax paper, you draw a line around the lamp so that you have the outline, you have the child mark it in like this, leave some extra paper around the edges so that you can tape it on and get purchase, and voila, you will end up having a gel, and this will throw off a pretty decent red, and it worked fine. Now I wanted something a little bit deeper and darker, and I was trying to figure out what to do, and then I thought, my God, I got kids. Jeez, my kids have one of their favorite toys is Magna-Tiles, and these incredibly wonderful dark rich colors, these Magna-Tiles, and I needed reds and blues, and sure enough they had those. This will give you some great color, and what's really awesome about them is that because this is metal and this is a Magna-Tile, it sticks right to the instrument. I didn't have to worry about any tape or anything like this, and then I clip this all over the place. So if you have something like this, think about this. It's also a lot of fun for the kids because you can put all kinds of Magna-Tiles on there and they can play with the colors. What next? Shaping light. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. shaping the light in like theater and also the other mediums. They use barn doors often. They'll use all kinds of the Lecos I talked about actually have these metal plates inside the instrument that you can move around so that you can create all kinds of shapes with the light. And I needed to figure out some way to shape light because I wanted to tell a story. And I was looking around and I thought, you know, there's this thing, what is it called? It's called a flag. And it looks exactly like it sounds. It's just a material, black piece of material that's connected to some kind of pole that's completely overpriced, in my opinion. And you move the flag around to block part of the light that's coming out of your instrument. The closer you move the flag to the source of the light, the sort of the fuzzier the line gets. But if you move the flag very close to the subject that you're lighting, it gets kind of a sharp edge, and I wanted that for something I was doing in my film, and to tell the story that way. Instead of buying flags, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go buy or rent flags. I used my old friend Amazon, one of their boxes, and I cut it out. You can still see some of the tape I used. Tape is your friend. Used to connect it to a pole. In this case, I had an old microphone stand, but you can do a table lamp, or excuse me, a floor lamp, or anything that's standing up that you can move around. I had my kids spray paint it black. It was fun, but you don't have to do that. And then I just set it up so that it blocks light. In fact, you can see the glare that just came up. That's from the sun bouncing off a coffee table. And now I put it there, and it's gone. So it helps shape that light. This is also good to hide yourself because I found that I'm filming children. My shadow gets all over them. So I would set this up in a way that if there was a light coming from behind both me and my child, I would set this up off to the side so that I could hide behind this. You wouldn't see my shadow on my kid. And it worked pretty well. There's so much more I could talk to you about this, but I think that's good for now. Can't wait to see your films. Stay safe out there, and I think the next video will be about camera dollies. A lot of fun. Take care.